So today I'm going to be talking about some ethical issues in business, specifically going into the misuse of company time and resources. So the misuse of company time and resources are the most common area of misconduct observed in business. They go hand in hand with each other. If you're using a company computer to browse the internet or use social media, you're using your company computer for personal reasons, and you're also on the clock. You should be working, but you're stealing that time from the company by not performing your daily activities. Going into the misuse of company time a little bit, the average employee steals about 4.5 hours a week due to late arrivals, leaving early, long lunch breaks, inappropriate sick days, excessive socializing with other coworkers, and even personal activities like online shopping, personal emails, and social media. The effects of misusing company time are a decrease in productivity, failure to meet deadlines, cost issues and lost profits, decrease in employee benefits due to the loss in profits, impossible to meet standards, and even a loss of a job if it becomes too serious. Going a little further into some of the effects of misusing company time, tardiness and leaving early will not only cause the employee's productivity to decrease, but it also affects the department as a whole. The whole department's productivity will go down. And chronically late employees may not be able to complete their assignments on time, and it may cause resentment from other employees who are having to pick up the unfinished work. This misuse occurs most often because office-type jobs, employees are not constantly being watched over, and they have the freedom to go about their day at their own pace, and this can lead to, excessive internet usage and socializing with coworkers. Sometimes the misuse of time is unintentional. For example, if you have a fast worker, they'll more likely rush through their work to finish as soon as possible, which leaves a lot of room for errors. And instead of going back to check their work, double check their work, they may start socializing instead of helping another employee, or they may start using their computer for personal things. Another example of unintentional misuse of time is an employee who is a perfectionist. They tend to take a lot more time on their assignments, and they can get stuck on a task and start wasting time on that task instead of moving on to the next task. One more example of unintentional misuse of time would be an employee who is a procrastinator. They often get sidetracked by many other tasks. They can get caught up in the anxiety of their assignments, and that causes them to try to avoid the task altogether. Some ways to avoid misusing time are trying to stay organized, have a daily routine, and always prioritize your work. Learn to focus on the job given to you, and don't get distracted with other things. And as always, ask for help if you need it, but don't give your coworker your entire responsibility. And so now we'll go into the misuse of company resources. The misuse of company resources has been identified by the Ethics Resource Center as a leading issue in observed misconduct. Cyberloafing is the term often used. It's the use of technology that is not work-related, social networking, personal emails, online shopping, etc. Some examples of misusing company resources could be submitting personal expenses on the company expense report, using the company copier for personal use, using the company computer for your personal reasons, emails, banking, online shopping, or using the company phone for personal calls. There was an executive at Blue Shield of California who was fired for charging over $100,000 on a company credit card for his personal expenses. Some resource abuse can also have legal repercussions. For example, an Apple employee was arrested for allegedly recoding American Express and Visa gift cards and then using them to fraudulently purchase about $1 million in Apple gift cards. According to a survey conducted by Salary.com in 2005, workers admitted to wasting between 2 to 4 hours per day while at work, and using the internet was the number one time waster. The top 3 states with employees that are slacking off were Missouri with 3.2 hours of time wasted a day, and then Indiana and Kentucky at number 2 and 3 with both 2.8 hours of time wasted. The top 3 industries with employees slacking off are insurance with 2.5 hours a day wasted, the public sector, not including education, with about 2.4 hours a day wasted, and then research and development with about 2.3 hours a day wasted. There is a trend in wasted time. It has been found that the younger workers waste time about 4 times as much as their parents' generation, so as the age goes down, the increase in wasted time goes up. But it was found that manual workers are the least likely to waste time at work because most of them are paid hourly and are being watched a little more carefully by a supervisor. There are a lot of ways that companies can combat these issues of misuse of company time and resources. A few statistics on what some companies are doing to combat those are 53% of companies are monitoring employee emails. 76% of companies are monitoring the website connections their employees use. 25% of companies have fired employees for excessive internet and email abuse. And 6% of companies have fired employees for excessive office phone abuse. Some companies will block certain websites from being accessed while connected to the company's internet. But then you have other companies that are a little more flexible about their employees' use of company time and resources. They'll allow their employees to use their computers and time on the clock for personal use as long as it doesn't significantly detract from the workday. The bottom line is that companies need to have policies in place regarding time and resource abuse, regardless of how the company decides to handle the employees that do abuse the time and resources.